just don't really pay attention to that, because sometimes paint tool site will crash. So like I said earlier, it is best to save as Sci, or you can save as Photoshop document, JPEG or whatever. But if you want to go back and color, you either need to save it as a Sci. The Sci will keep all of your line art effectively. If you choose to save it as a Photoshop document, however, your layers and stuff will be there. The only thing is that you will not be able to edit your line art if you feel that it needs to be edited in any type of way. So that just to be safe, just to be safe, save it as Sci first. If you need to do any type of adjustments to your line art and etc. Now, the only downside about it, if you save it as Photoshop, another downside of it or whatever, if you save it as a Photoshop document and you upload it to Photoshop, whatever version, by default, Photoshop takes away those pixels in detail. It just does that. So if you upload it to Photoshop, there's nothing wrong with your file that you saved it in. It's just Photoshop being in a default setting that it will take away the pixels, I guess, to reduce the RAM it takes to run the program, I'm guessing. But that's how it is. If you leave your window, if you leave your Paint Tool side window open and you have your Photoshop window open and you see both the difference, you will see that the quality is dumbed down in Photoshop, and that other quality in Sci is still the same. It's still high. It's still beautiful. Ugh. So these are the available formats you can save it in, all the way from Sci to Targa. Targa, I don't mess with it, but these are just the important things, the important two things you can do. You do Sci or Photoshop document. So we get out of that, and we go back to our sketch. When you start drawing, if you make a mistake, it's okay. Practice. That's what being a good artist is all about. If you are dedicated, if you like something and you want to see your talents grow, practice. I have to practice. I still have to practice. But I'm willing to at least give what knowledge I do have to give to people that needs it. So moving on. Now, for the skin layer, for the skin folder, I had to put them all in the folders. Now, this is really neat. You know, the folders, all your available layers is there. Now, I don't necessarily name each layer because that'll take too much time of me getting my work done. As long as I know which layer that is, it shouldn't be a problem. So let's go ahead and unhide all of these. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. So let me do a close up here, and line art. Let's hide that layer. Okay. Now, this is what it looks like because I didn't open all layers. Now, as you can see, the detail in her eyes. Now that's high. That's a very high quality. And I didn't even save it as any type of format yet. So right here in the corner, I forgot to mention about this. There's just a little window, a little mirror of the area you're looking at. So I'm looking here, the head, the shoulders, mid-torso. So it's right here, and as we move, it moves with it. This red triangle, it moves with it. So don't pay attention to that. You can zoom in, but it won't zoom in on this. It can only zoom in on the main window. So all of this was done in less than 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Now, I've been doing this for a long time because I'm constantly practicing. And even though there's still a lot more stuff I need to learn about, this is what you can accomplish when you practice every day and when you really consider yourself to be a good artist. With her clothes, it was just something random, but she came out great. She came out really great. Did some adjustments, fixed her body, and she just looks Super. So we open the folder of all the layers, and yes, there are a lot of layers to be done in 40 minutes or so before I started making this video. Seriously. Okay, now for her skin, it just looks bleh to me. So what I usually do is that I make a layer and I just play around with certain type of colors, like, you know, red, orange, purple stuff. So we're gonna do kind of like a red orange-ish, some kind of color. And we get our paint bucket tool, and you see that it only selects the skin. Now let's say if you want to just do basic blending for your character, you can. Now, we're not going to leave her like this. We're just going to decrease the opacity. And as you can see, there's a major difference. Her skin not only pops out a little bit, her skin color not only pops out, it's more radiant than just this, which has no life. So you can go all the way down a little bit for the opacity. Sometimes I like to add 2 layers, 2 or 3, depending on how I want the picture to look. So let's choose purple. Go back. Only the skin layer is selected because these are clipping. These are clipped. And also, clipping group will also save your life. Say if you, when you put a base color, because this is the main base color here. Say if you put a base color on your character when everything is inked. And also, another thing before I go any further, when you ink, make sure everything is closed. Make sure that your line art is closed. If it's not closed, you're gonna see this, and you don't want to see that. So no. Make sure everything is closed. Put your base color on. You can do preserve opacity. Preserve opacity is also good. What it does is saves that original color. So many people got lots of different definitions for it, but I just like to say it saves that original color without dumbing it down a little bit. But we go back to our overlay, our second overlay cover, and I put the clipping group on because if I take that clipping grip off, it's the color that I put on there is gonna affect all the other layers. If you put that clipping group on, it will only just go for the layer you have selected. So we go back and we lower our opacity, maybe to like 14. And it looks good. It looks much, much better. Her skin pops out much, much, much more. Okay, now we're done with the skin. The hair is black enough. Now, the clothes. Say if you don't like a certain color and you don't want to erase the base color and do it all over again. What's also good um, about clipping groups, if you erase the base color, that's gone. But the clipping group, it still remains. The only thing is, you gotta add a color. So say if I put in something like that, or whatever. Let's just do it like this. Now you see all the shading that I did is still there. It's still there. So basically, you're not gonna lose the shading if you get rid of the base color and you add it with something else, which also takes a long time. All your shading and stuff will still be there in the clipping group. So I'm gonna go Control Z, and we got our original color back. Now, here's another way to do it. You go to Filter up here. You can either choose hue and saturation. I will prefer hue and saturation because the brightness and contrast is on a whole nother level. But let's just say we want to change this. All you have to do is slide. Slide to whatever color you want. Say if I want her to have like a hot pink dress or something. This looks effective. Saturation, you go from dark to light. Luminous, from black to white. So it's all about changing it, making it fit for your needs. Now, for the clipping group, that is on this particular layer, the colors do not change. As you can see, you have to manually do it one by one by one by one, and they'll take too long. So I had to go ahead and choose a color that I know would have been right for her. So say if I want to do like a light pink dress, like here, and just play around with it. You can basically do that. There's no limitations whatsoever. You can do whatever you want. So we're going to get out of that to cancel it. And also, if you just want to change the color of her eyes, you can do the same thing. It doesn't matter. There are no limitations whatsoever. Just have to save every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, because if you don't, you lose it. So, okay. For this finished product right here, when it took 40 minutes, it depends on how you draw your first sketch or whatever. You can do freehand, doesn't matter, as long as you're having fun with your art, doesn't matter. So we close all these, close the folder, and the only thing, what is this? Oh well, the sketch, it will always be here. Now, if you want to get rid of the sketch, that's pretty easy. You select that layer, you erase it. All of that bad, goopy sketch is gone. So all you have is just what you drew and colored. So instead of just hiding that layer, because sometimes if you, like I said, if you save it in Photoshop, that sketch layer will still be there, and what you have to do is erase it by hand, since Photoshop doesn't have that feature. So before you start exporting it to Photoshop, erase the sketch layer if you do not want to manually erase it by hand with your mouse or tablet. So up here is just, your canvas. You can change resolution. The highest resolution for all my pics is regularly 2550 by 3276. I don't really mess with the resolution. I just keep it at 72 because that's it for me. I don't need to have these higher quality. You can flip horizontally on your pictures. It may take a while, so just bear with me, because remember the memory load. So it may take a while. And what it does, it just flips it. That's all it does. It flips it. So we go back and just redo our mistakes. It's going to take back. So we just go back. That's all it does. It's just mirrors. And you have your rotate and stuff. The layer. Now this right here is also your best friend. The fill. Remember when I said earlier about your quick wand? If you select your whatever area you want color, but you don't want to do it by hand with an airbrush or a paint bucket, you can quickly go up here and press Control F, Alt Delete, and it will fill that selected area you have. And whenever you have your selection highlighted here, it's going to just, I don't know, just going to create these dots here. And that's all you have to do is just fill it or whatever, but I didn't choose fill or whatever. So that's what that does, is it fills the area that you want filled. And luminous to transparency, it's just something. Paint Tool Site also has a transform tool. It can be effective. And it's just other stuff that you should be a little bit familiar with. The filter is just only with hue and saturation and brightness and contrast. The view is just basically stuff that are already on your top, the top where your program is, and where your default picture is, because the default here is what we have selected. You can also select from a list. And these are just basic tools. Now, they also have shortcuts that can be really effective also. I use shortcuts a lot because I don't have to go up here and do it. So if you want to memorize these shortcuts, memorize them. It can help you a lot. The window just what is displayed, what you want displayed and stuff. It doesn't really matter. I just have some of the stuff selected so I won't have to switch back and forth. It can always hide that. And others, it's just, here. Now, the only thing is that Paint to Sight is not a free program. They do have a trial, however. It is 10 days. I don't know if Paint to Sight price changed. I think it's 65 US dollars, but this is a Japanese painting program, and whoever created it, I would like to thank that person because my art um, has really evolved and expanded. And I believe your art can expand too, as long as you believe in yourself. You don't have to be a great artist. You can just do what you love to do. Don't let others get you down, because I believe in you, believe in yourself, and all that good stuff. Yay. So, that's just the basics. I hope I explained enough for you. Just the tools and stuff that you need to know. This is just the select. Whenever you click on a tool, it just brings up the different settings and stuff like that. The eyedropper tool, it selects your color, the current color that you have, or etc. It will match that color. So I hope that I did the best that I could. I hope this helps you in any type of way. I want to do more tutorials on how to color, cell shade, and all that other stuff, because I didn't want to do a speed paint. So basically, I just went ahead and did this. So we go back to her skin because I don't know, it's a little bit reddish for me. So lower that opacity down. And sometimes I like to play with like a really bright color like yellow for some reason. And put my overlay layer here. And just, yeah. It looks a lot better to me. It looks a lot better to me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. And have any questions, you can email me or something if I put my email address here. I don't know. I just I'll be here, but I also have a DeviantArt account. It's inactive, but it's called Jazzy Coco at DeviantArt.com. If you need any help, just try to contact me on there or whatever. But my name is Jazz, and thank you for watching. Bye.